Hello and welcome, my dear friend. If you're hearing this, it's because heaven wanted to remind you that being chosen is not a punishment. It's one of the highest honors in existence, even if it doesn't always feel like it. When God places his fingerprint on a soul, he doesn't choose at random. He studies hearts. He looks for endurance, honesty, and humility that can carry something eternal. So when he chose you, it wasn't for your perfection. It was for your capacity. He saw something steady in you, something rare. He saw that when others would break, you'd bend and keep walking. When others would run, you'd stay and pray. When others would forget him, you'd still whisper his name. That's what caught heaven's attention. And that's why there's a weight on your life that not everyone can carry. Because chosen doesn't just mean favored, it means trusted. It means God looked across a generation and said, "Who can I place this much purpose on without it crushing them?" And when he asked that question, your name echoed back. Most people dream of being chosen. Few understand the cost. Because every divine calling comes wrapped in contradiction, joy and ache, favor and loneliness, celebration and pressure. And it's that pressure that has followed you all your life. You've probably felt it before you could even describe it. That sense that you were carrying something bigger than you, that invisible responsibility that never seemed to leave, that exhaustion that made no sense because you hadn't done anything wrong. That's not burnout. That's capacity expanding. You were being stretched for what you were destined to lift. You might not realize it, but every spiritual calling has physical weight. It shows up as responsibility, sensitivity, empathy that drains you, discernment that isolates you. You don't just see pain, you feel it before it even happens. You walk into a room and sense things before anyone speaks. That's not paranoia, that's perception. That's evidence that heaven trained you differently. There's a reason others collapsed under what you survived. They didn't fail because they were weak. They failed because it wasn't their assignment. You can't hand a mountain to someone whose spirit was trained for flat ground. And that's where your story starts to make sense. You weren't chosen to prove you're better. You were chosen because God had to protect the mission. He needed someone who could carry contradiction, someone tender enough to love people and strong enough not to become them. That balance is rare, and it was forged in you. Maybe you've noticed you don't get away with shortcuts. When others drift off path, they seem fine. But when you take one wrong turn, conviction hits immediately. That's not punishment, that's protection. God doesn't let chosen souls wander long. He redirects fast because your delay affects destinies beyond yours. That's the pressure you feel, the invisible reminder that your life is attached to more than your comfort. You've been given a weight that builds spiritual muscle in private before God reveals it in public. So yes, the road has been rough. You've been misunderstood by people who can't imagine living without applause. You've watched others chase visibility while you carried invisible burdens. And it hurt, not because you wanted attention, but because you wondered if God even saw how much you were holding. He did, every ounce of it, and he was quiet. Not because he didn't care, but because he was measuring your endurance. Before God gives you influence, he weighs your shoulders. It's not coincidence that the people who walked away did so right before your breakthrough season. They weren't abandoned. They were released so destiny could flow without resistance. If they had stayed connected, they would have collapsed under the same pressure that built you. Some assignments look cruel until you realize they were mercy in disguise. That's why you outlasted things that should have finished you. That's why you bounced back from storms that left others silent. Not because you were untouched, but because you were anchored. There's a difference between those who pray for strength and those who were born with it. You were born with it, and that strength had to be proven before it could be revealed. Every weight you carried was forming divine muscle. God wasn't breaking you, he was stretching your edges, because what's meant for you can't rest on something fragile. And now, he's starting to move. You can feel it, that quiet acceleration that makes no sense on paper. Hidden corridors are echoing with footsteps you once thought gone. Accounts God kept in silence are being opened now. Because heaven has decided you're ready to carry what you were once only tested by. That's why the wrong ones couldn't stay. That's why certain relationships ended and you didn't find a reason for them. The pressure wasn't personal, it was prophetic. They weren't designed to breathe at this altitude. You were. So stop wondering why it had to be you. The truth is simple. They couldn't handle the weight. God built your back for it. He carved capacity into your spirit before you ever knew what it would cost. And here you are, still standing, still believing, still faithful. You're not here because it was easy. You're here because heaven couldn't afford for you to quit. This is what chosen really means. It's not comfort, although it's coming. It's responsibility. It's carrying light through darkness and not letting it go dim. It's enduring pain that doesn't make sense, trusting that one day it will, and that day is closer than you think. Because now, the same God who trusted you with the weight is about to trust you with the reward. You have every right in the world to feel tired now. You obeyed in the dark, and now, in the graying dawn, you're starting to see the outline of why. This is the dawning of cause and effect. The why is no longer a spiritual concept. It's a practical reality. You'll look at the resume from 3 years ago and physically cringe, not with shame, but with the realization that if you had gotten the jobs you applied for then, they would have shrunk you. You'll drive past a certain building or a certain neighborhood and feel a visceral sense of having been protected from a version of your life that was too small for you. Get ready for the moments of sudden insight, not mystical, but real. You'll be in the shower or halfway through a commute, and a complete solution to a problem that's been plaguing your team for months will land in your mind, fully formed. This is the dividend on all those hours you spent in silence, training your soul to receive. The prayer you gave up on from 2019? The answer is coming. But it's arriving dressed in 2025 circumstances. It won't look like you pictured. It will be better because it's built for the person you are now, not the person you were then. But this new clarity has a cost. As your vision sharpens, your tolerance for what's out of focus will plummet. You won't just feel led to end that friendship. You'll suddenly see the specific, measurable way it drains your energy and gives nothing back. You'll look at your budget and have zero peace about that subscription or spending habit, not because it's wrong, but because it's funding a version of you that no longer exists. This isn't judgment, it's stewardship. You're being promoted from a tenant of your life to its CEO. And yes, people will notice. Some won't like it. This isn't about them plotting against you. It's far more ordinary. They're confused. Receive their confusion as data. It confirms you're no longer orbiting the same sun. Your gravitational pull is changing. You are quite literally moving into a different atmosphere, and not everyone can breathe there. Your empathy, the one that used to leave you drained after family gatherings or crowded rooms, now has a switch. You're learning to sense the undercurrent of anxiety in a room without letting it become your own. You can sit with a grieving friend and hold their pain without taking it home. This is spiritual muscle in action, not the absence of feeling, but the strength to manage the current. You're becoming a conductor, taking in the world's chaos and releasing it back as order and peace. So stand up, shake off the dust of the old season. It's not a metaphor. Literally clean your space. Delete the old apps from your phone. Unsubscribe from the emails. You are making tangible room for a tangible shift. Please remember, my dear friend, you can wake up tomorrow morning and live a completely different life. You don't have to explain your changes. You can even disagree with your 2 years ago self. And that's not inconsistency, it's growth. The path ahead isn't a glowing road in the clouds. It's the gritty path of applied faith. It's using that new language you learned. It's trusting that contract. It's speaking up in that meeting. It's having the courage to finally set that boundary, not with anger, but with the quiet authority of someone who knows their worth. because they've finally seen the price God paid to secure it. The door is open now. You have to walk through it with your new energy, your new way of living, your new appreciation for every second spent alive in God's presence, breathing, creating, tearing down what's complete and beginning again, alive with Him in every motion. And this time, when you look at your life, you'll look at it with pride, not because it was perfect, but because it was true.